Hi, and welcome to the personal side of business, where every business has a story. Today, I am Jet Bunningwong, and I am with Amber Gaige, who helps business owners make sense of their marketing by getting really intentional about where they're targeting and who they're trying to reach. Welcome to the podcast, Amber.
I'm so thankful to be here, Jet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tell us, how did we get here?
Oh man. So like literally down Highway 75
Yeah,
or
yeah,
oh, okay.
in Dallas here.
Yeah, in Dallas, in the frigid cold of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I finally came to Texas, and I didn't expect it to be 25 degrees, but anyway.
Yeah. Come back in August.
Yeah.
We'll be a little bit hotter.
Yeah, I love
for
it.
sure.
But
Yeah.
anyway, you tell us about your story.
Yeah. So I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, youngest of three children. We were the Brady Bunch. So my parents, my dad was a master plumber. And my mother had three business degrees. And so we became the Brady Bunch. And so from the time that I can remember, our businesses were in our home. And so my dad being a plumber, I learned to read on the back of a backhoe. I ran PVC pipe on the back of tractors and delivered my fair share of water heaters on
Wow.
Thanksgiving Day. And fun fact, Brown Friday is real. The busiest day of the year for residential plumbers is the day after Thanksgiving.
I did not know that existed.
Yeah, it does. Brown Friday.
What causes, is it from the,
Do you really want to know?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have been with your learning businesses on the business side of things from family. And then was this, as you were growing up, did you start to see that these were things that were, or the marketing side was missing from helping families? Is that what inspired you?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. Well, I mean, being self-employed, to God be the glory, our businesses eventually grew, and I was able to start my own company while being involved in my family businesses. But the long road of 25 plus years of watching my parents struggle and watching my grandparents struggle in other industries before them was that if your phone didn't ring and you didn't make sales, then you really didn't eat. I mean, we rolled quarters so my brothers could buy lunch at school.
Wow.
And so learning the correlation between customer service, sales, and marketing was paramount in my formative years. And so as I eventually ended up running our customer service center and building scripts and working with dispatch, I learned that the way that we make people feel is a large portion of what impacts sales. And so when I was able to eventually start my own marketing agency, sales just became a natural part. My dad would say, the more successful in life you can be is directly tied to how effective you can be in sales.
Yeah.
And marketing is really what powers sales. And so when you think about marketing strategically, what we have to understand is that the parallels between the trust factor and the sales side are absolutely tied to the dollar valuation of what we're selling.
Right.
So, if you're going to buy a Cadillac Escalade, you're going to expect a glass of champagne or a beer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you're going to buy a Honda or something like that, you're going to walk in, you're going to walk out, and it's going to be a dollars conversation, right? This is the basics of how sales works.
Yeah, and maybe you've probably seen this in the beginning stages of working with people in the trades industry, especially, is that marketing is sort of put in a back burner because right, they're not concentrating that, right?
Right.
Which is interesting because they're always looking for. They're like, we need to close deals, get dollars, but that's what's going to help you do that.
And we're the first to get fired
Yeah.
when something goes wrong, and we're the first to get blamed.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't change the fact that your lead went to spam. I don't
Yeah.
control your inbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely true. People need marketing, but they don't understand the correlation of how it supports their operational goals.
Yeah, and one of the things that you really work on is intent, right? Can you
Yes.
dive into that more of why that's different from me just going out there as a plumber and just deciding to put a Google ad and not really understanding what my intent is?
Right. Or what the intent of your buyers is, right? Because what we all know in marketing is that we can create fantastic ads. There are beautiful awards even in the foyer of this building that we're in. But if you are putting an ad in front of someone who does not have a high intent to buy, you might as well cast your pearls before swine. They're not interested. So the wonderful thing that we have as marketers at our advantage now is AI. We are able to go online and actually find out within the last 4 to 7 days who has been online searching for what keywords in what geographic area down to a sub-zip code level and serve an ad to those individuals. Now, they may not have a high buyer awareness or brand awareness, but they may have a high intent to buy. And people go online all the time with the intent to buy one thing and then they go buy something else.
Right.
So buyer intent and honing in on the buyer intent is what cuts your sales cycle in half.
Yeah, and what are you looking for? What is if I am not hiring a marketer, right, and I need to do that, what am I missing that's going to connect to that intent buyer?
So it becomes down to the pain point that you're experiencing as a business owner and whether or not that correlates back to marketing. I can't help you if you have a faulty sales system. That doesn't fall underneath the parlay of marketing, right? Or the purview of marketing. But what I can do is look for the pain points that you're experiencing. Are your sales stagnant? Are your leads stagnant? Have you stopped growing? Is your website not producing visitors? Do you not have enough phone calls coming into your dispatch center? And that varies from industry to
Yeah.
industry. We serve daycares, we serve 5-star restaurants, we serve plumbers and roofers and HVAC. The pain points associated with the sales are what dictates the diagnostic journey of the marketing tactics.
Oh, what? Where do you feel like, or what industry is might be the toughest to try to get that? Does that ever come into play? Like, if is it the trades? Is it a brick and mortar? Like, well, I would say easier, but what is a better path for marketing?
I'm going to say that there are unique challenges in every industry, which we understand
Yeah.
and respect. The trades is a great opportunity for marketing, but oftentimes we find ourselves putting square pegs in round holes. The trades do not speak marketing, right? Sales or other professional services, they sit in an office all day long. They're used to algorithms, they're used to analytics, things like that. The trades are used to tasks. So while each industry has its own challenges, the underlying themes of marketing, I would
Hmm.
say, or the tasks that we have to do are the same trade to
Okay. Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
We're going to conduct the same process for a daycare as we are a restaurant, as we are a roofer. We're going to look at the same data sets, and then we're going to customize the plan based on the industry and the operational goals.
Oh, does the longevity of a business play into um, assisting better marketing?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? Because brand awareness is
Yeah.
key and crucial. We know that when you have a healthy brand awareness in a saturated area geographically, you can charge 10 times more than if
Yeah.
no one knows who you are. But if you recognize a brand, name your favorite brand, Cole Haan, Coca
Yeah.
Cola, whatever, and you're passionate about that brand, it's going to be a lot easier to sell you
Yeah.
because you know the brand. And brand comes with effective marketing and time.
Yeah, and something that you had when we first talked, that you talked about the really targeting an area, right?
Mhm.
Can Let's explain that a little bit, because I think there are people that go out there and say, I I live in San Diego. I have an electrical repair business, and I just want to take all of San Diego.
Mhm.
And it doesn't really. I've spoken to business owners to go, you can say that you want all this area, but someone that's 5 miles away from you is probably going to want to, have a better chance of connecting with you than someone who's 45 miles away from you, and they look at the business. So can you talk a little bit about the targeting of a geographic area?
So the targeting of a geographic area really is tied to whether or not you have a brick and mortar, whether or not you have a service company. Windshield time is incredibly expensive for a service company because if you put a truck on the road, for example, we have a client who lost 1,400 opportunities last year. They had
Wow.
1,400 opportunities and zero sales for every single one of those opportunities. You want to talk about millions of dollars.
Just because they couldn't get to those clients in time?
Because they didn't sell them. They
Oh,
would
okay.
not, yeah, they did not sell them, not even a trip charge. So they paid money for those opportunities, but they didn't close the deal. So you have to look at your efficacy in that geographic area. So if you are looking to brand an entire area like San Diego, then what is that going to cost you? And what is the cost benefit analysis? Because San Diego has a dense population,
Mhm.
just like Dallas Fort Worth,
Right.
but Dallas Fort Worth is tied to sub areas, suburbs. So for someone to say, Amber, I want Dallas Fort Worth, I'm going to say, why? Why do you need all of Dallas Fort
Right.
Worth when you could have the $1 million homes in just Park Lake?
Right.
Where does the geographic area constitute value for your company? Now, an e-commerce business doesn't have to worry about
Right.
this, but a geographic area needs to rely on brand saturation. And the larger area you're trying to saturate with a brand, the more you're going to spend.
Yeah. Like, tell me if I'm understanding this right. It almost feels like you'd rather be a big fish in a little pond than to be
Yeah.
the reverse,
Right?
right? To everyone knows every 80% of the people in that area know your name,
Hmm.
rather for you to try to be 10% in all across of all of Dallas, like
Right.
Dallas Fort Worth.
And that goes back to what you mentioned earlier, Jet, talking about the longevity of business and how long they've been in business. When you have been in business a very short amount of time and you are operating on a shoestring marketing budget, it is grassroots marketing.
Yeah.
You are shaking hands in your backyard. You are making deals with neighbors. You are kissing babies. It's the power
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
grassroots. When you are an established business and you've been around for, let's say, a decade or more, you have more flexibility to expand your geographic area. But you have to start small,
Yeah.
grow organically, and expand your budget.
Do you think you see that with people who hire marketers, that they sort of like, oh, I hired someone, so I don't need to shake hands anymore. I'm
Hmm.
going to get into, which I've always felt like it has to go hand in hand.
Hmm.
You're networking and getting your face out there, letting people know that you exist in the local community and in marketing as well. So they're like, I, s- I love it when I hear business owners or go to another business owner go, I see your stuff everywhere.
I love it.
Right. Right. I think, and then
Yeah.
you go, great, they're doing something right in
Right.
multiple ways. But
Right.
they're like, I've also seen it in reverse where people go up to someone and go, I didn't know you were in business. I've literally heard that from people.
Hmm.
And I was like, it's probably because you haven't come out, no one sees you, you haven't put your stuff anywhere. But they're gonna say, I just don't have the money to do this right now. Right.
Hmm.
So question for you is when a business owner, an entrepreneur says, I don't have the budget to do that, is the risk to reward worth it to still hire a marketer to be like, yeah, well, there's no guarantees in life, but I can really help you still.
Right.
Right.
Right. I believe that it is. Of
Yeah.
course, I am biased
Yes.
because I'm a
Yes.
marketer.
Yeah.
But I would say that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And when we're talking about a branding campaign, such as a LinkedIn campaign, okay, you need both. You need a company campaign and you need a personal campaign. Because even if you don't have the thousands of dollars to put into building your brand, you already have a brand.
Yes.
It's your face,
Yes.
it's your reputation, it's your voice. And people are going to say, I know Jet. Well, what does Jet do? Oh, well, Jet does this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm going to buy from Jet.
Yeah.
And then this is also the separation and the great argument, which is quite fun to have, by the way, about personal branding versus corporate branding. How tied should they be?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, start with your personal brand if you can't afford to build your company
Yes.
brand, because they are synonymous in the beginning.
Yeah, I've always told this to, I am not a marketer, but I've told this to a lot of small businesses that I've worked with that there's only one you, right?
Yes.
You will never, that's the only guarantee. There will be 10,000 plumbing businesses, 10,000 HVAC businesses in the city, but there's only one person.
Right.
If they can start to connect those two together, that's where your business is going to grow because, to be able to see your face, I know a lot of times it's tough for people. They're like, I don't want people to know who I am because I just wanted to do this business. But I'm
Right.
like, that's the difference maker, right?
Too bad.
Yeah. You got into something where people are trying to buy from you to let you into their home,
Right.
right?
Right.
You're going to come to their home, spend 2 hours fixing something, but you don't want them to really know who you are. That doesn't quite make sense to me, right?
It doesn't. And if you don't trust your reputation enough to put your face out there on the line, then why
Right.
would your clients?
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, as you're growing your company, what you're doing is parlaying your values into your company culture. And so that resonates from the owner. So now we've been in business for over 20 years for our marketing firm. I will always talk to any customer that asks me to, but they also know that I only employ the best of the best.
Yeah.
And so when I say to them, I need you to talk to my graphic artist, I need you to talk to our videographer, they're going to go, okay, great. They are an ambassador of my company.
Yeah.
And if I can't trust them to be that ambassador, then why are they working for me?
Yeah. And, when we first spoke, I think you talked about that too, of having a really strong team. And I think if someone were to work with you, that's one of the things that I always recommend. If like I've had people ask me, I want to look for a marketer, but I don't know much about what I'm looking for, but I'm like, if there's components that they're going to have to implement and you need to see if those people are really good at what they do. And
Right.
I think for you to have a really strong team is great. And kind of backtrack a little bit because I just want to ask this because I get asked a lot when people are looking to get into just say podcasting or put themselves out there on YouTube, they business owners don't want to do that, right? Because there's
Mhm.
like, that's I'm introverted. I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk to anyone. But I tell them in 2026 it's starting to change. There are people out there who are getting outside their comfort zone, getting interviewed, going to talk, getting in front of the camera because they know of that personal and corporate branding that's meshing together. Do you think in the next couple of years it's even going to get it's gonna blend even more, that we're gonna get to a point where we go, I the corporate CEO of this company, I know exactly who runs it and I want to work with them because I found them, they love to donate to stuff. They work for nonprofit. They have kids that they send to this and do this, you know. So do you think that's gonna be really important for corporate and personal branding?
I do. And video is no longer an option. It is a necessity
Yes,
based on
I
the
agree.
algorithmic changes that have taken place over the last 18 months. And those changes are going to continue to evolve at rapid fire levels. So you must be present. You must be public facing. If you do not want to do that as the ambassador of your company, then hire one.
Yes.
Find someone that
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
That's fine. We are all wired differently, but the imperativeness, if that is a word,
Yeah.
of having your corporate brand represented with a common bond of how you put yourself forward in the community or for shared causes is so important. And the algorithmic value of video, having your brand tied to your personal brand, is only going to skyrocket your results. There have been some incredible studies that came out even as long ago as 10 years ago when we were seeing the shift of buying coming from the millennials more so than the generation prior to them.
Hmm.
Millennials don't shop based on brand, they shop based on brand alliances.
Mm.
So, for
Yes.
an example, a friend of mine has a 19-year-old son. He needed to get his oil changed. Instead of just going down the street to a Firestone or wherever, he started Googling environmentally conscious oil.
Wow.
And when he found a company that talked on their website about how they were environmentally friendly with the disposal of the oil, he drove 25 miles out of his way
Wow.
because that was important to him. He didn't care about brand.
Yeah.
He cared about the commonality of the values that were being portrayed by that company. In the same vein, we have a roofing company here in Dallas that we represent. They are huge into fostering. So they give a portion of every roofing job to the SPCA. It wasn't on their website, Jet. It
Wow.
was nowhere on their website. And so our first consultation with them, we were like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is part of who you are. Why are you not
Yeah.
promoting this? And they said, well, it's just a personal passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a personal
Yeah.
passion of your clients too.
Yeah. And I think the consumer is starting to carry that wave, right? You're saying these as generations get younger and they start to be connected to a lot of what's online and
Mhm.
research is so easy at your fingertips
Mm,
that now they're like, I want to buy something from someone or a company that's really going to
right.
align with me. On the flip side of that, how are corporations starting to adjust to this as time goes on? Do you think they're moving fast enough to keep up with what's going on with the consumer?
Well, to each their own. Some of them are.
Mm.
If you know what happened recently with Coca-Cola when they generated their first AI ad, it blew up in their face
Yeah,
because people were so upset that they did not hire actual marketers.
yeah.
And so, live and learn.
And they probably thought, this was going to be cool, right?
Right.
The younger generation's going to connect this AI, but really it's that human aspect that I think was getting taken out.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I would argue the counterpoint and have argued the counterpoint that think about the people that were involved in that AI production.
Mhm.
Think about the people that had to give the prompts, make the edits, post it. Just because you didn't have actual graphic designers or videographers involved does not mean that you didn't have subject matter
Yeah.
experts.
Yeah.
AI will never replace critical thinking for humans, and it will never replace human interaction and connection.
Yeah. I
But it
agree.
will allow us to do our jobs more efficiently, more critically, better targeting, and we can serve more clients faster.
Yeah, I agree with you too. And I think to your point that I feel like corporations, especially large corporations, are going to try to cut costs and corners and go with that AI, but it's always going to miss that something, that human element,
Mhm.
right? How has AI helped you as a marketer? And because you touched upon it before, where you can start to look at data a lot faster and go, what are people searching for? Which I've told clients to do is go, hey, look at top keyword searches for your industry and see what how you can connect to them and what put it on your website, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
What tools of AI have you been using that you want to share that have helped you become a better marketer?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, we are a fully AI backed marketing firm.
Oh,
So everything that we do is technological and AI backed. And the reason being, it goes back to one of your earlier questions about how do you know who to hire as a marketer? And that is transparency. Gone are the days of Wizard of Oz marketing.
right.
Don't look for the man behind the
Yeah,
curtain. No, peek behind the curtain.
yeah,
You need to see it.
yeah,
So AI allows marketing firms to have better insight into the analytics. There are corporate insights that can be obtained in minutes or seconds. There are analysis that can be run with AI. Of course, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of these are excellent. Our AI actually ties all of them together coincidentally. So we use it for, we actually have our own ChatGPT. Far Beyond Marketing intern is what we call it. So we're like,
wow.
give it to the intern, give it to the intern, have them start on something, but then our people are going to
Yeah,
examine it, critique it, and post it.
yeah.
So you are penalized for posting pure AI content online. If it doesn't look like it's been touched by human hands, you're going to get flagged and
Yeah, I
slapped
think
on the
that
hand.
that human element is never going to go away. You need to have that check right before, and could be wrong. Maybe 10 years we have a different conversation, but I think right now we're getting so savvy at being able to tell AI from I see it in posts and in comments all the time. They're like, no, this was an AI generated or this is an AI bot. We're
Right.
starting to see it. So I think that human element is so crucial, which is always funny because people keep talking about how we're just going to get replaced, but there's just certain core values that AI can't seem to grasp yet. And like I said, could be wrong, but you
Well,
know,
I don't think we're going to get replaced. I think we're going to learn to work with the technology to the advantage of ourselves and our clients. So I actually offer an Amber AI so that if my clients cannot afford to hire my firm, they can pay a flat monthly rate and have all of my concepts, all of my strategies,
oh,
and have an AI bot of me into their business. I have a cartoon version of me too. So if you want a marketing strategist at your fingertips, but you don't want to pay the six figures of having a fractional CMO, get an AI version. I'm fine with that. The other option that they have with AI is AI informed blogs. So
yeah.
if we can tell AI what to put on the top search results, the top 10, by using an AI generated blog for the website, I just made your life a lot easier to rank
Yeah.
online. So those are the kind of technologies that should be cross examined on behalf of every client based on their goals.
Yeah, and just touching that point about blogs, I still uh, feel that blogs are hold such a great value for bringing eyes
Mhm,
to a website, and I
mhm,
think people have forgotten about that.
mhm.
Can you just talk quickly about what value you see as a marketer of and maybe we don't. It's not a blog anymore. Sometimes I call it informational.
Mhm.
Uh, connection, right? For people to be like, I'm going to go search for something. I found this on this website that teaches me. What is the value of having that information, that blog information over and over again?
The value of that information is the synergy between what someone is online searching for and the information that
Yes.
you're putting out there. So when you have a match to match on a keyword or on a subject matter that drives someone to your website and you're controlling the outcome of that search, giving them the opportunity to buy from you versus a competitor, that provides value. I firmly believe that people don't read as much as they used to,
Mhm.
and we are a video centric shopping society. So blogs where they used to be valued for the long form
Yes.
content are no longer effective. So we don't even do public facing blogs on our websites that we manage for clients, but we still write blogs. And we do that because we know that the blog content is valuable to the bots. It is going to drive the holistic, comprehensive search to the top of the online search engines. So the
Yeah.
content is great. The formatting doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. And so you're saying video now is holding way more value.
So much more.
So would that also mean on websites you think business owners, entrepreneurs need to figure out how to add videos more in
100%.
it? Now,
100%.
in that realm of video, what do you suggest? Is it video about what they do? Is it video about them as a person, or both? Everything? Just uh, a mashup of like things going on up there, or should they start to concentrate in certain areas and start to build out of there?
I believe it's D, all of the above.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
do. I think that every website should have video. Every website should be tied to a YouTube channel that has categories on that YouTube channel about the content associated with that company. I think that your video content on your social media needs to align with your brand, your messaging, your tone. All of these things are overlooked constantly by entrepreneurs. But one of the foundational things that we do is coach entrepreneurs about their brand voice, about their messaging. Make it clear, make it relevant, make it appealing to your audience. It's okay to say no to a client that isn't aligned with your brand voice. You can't be everything to everyone, but your video content has got to be systematically and strategically aligned to bring people back to believe that you are the expert in your field.
yes. And now I'm going to have a question for you after hearing all that. If I'm the entrepreneur and we're working together and I'm not comfortable, are you now does your role shift a little bit to that you're going to start to coach them or become sort of like a business coach and be like, I gotta pull this side out of you in order to get to where we need to go, right?
hmm
Does that
hmm
happen with the people
Well,
you work with?
that's the reason that we are called far beyond marketing,
Yeah. Okay.
because we do more than marketing.
Yeah.
We're always going to partner with
Yeah.
our clients. We're always going to coach them. We're always going to be transparent with them, and we're going to find a solution that works for them. We have many introverted clients that go, "You're not putting my face up there," and I go, "Well, your wife is gorgeous. How do you feel about that? What do you think?
Yeah, you not so much, but she's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your dog is so cute. Can I put
Yeah.
a bow tie on him? Like,
Yeah.
how do we feel about that?" There's always a workaround.
Yeah.
There's always a way that you can represent your brand in a human level to make people trust you, love you, and want to work with you.
Yeah, that's great because I think I think there's, my experience, I think there's a lot more entrepreneurs and business owners that are afraid of being in front of the camera than not.
Yeah.
And me, from just a business advisor standpoint, just going out there and say, you should do this doesn't hold as much value as someone who's in marketing go, no, we have data to back this up, right?
hmm hmm
And, to touch upon something that you brought up before, data, I've met marketers that are about, I feel like a hope and a prayer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I love that your company goes off of data and uses that to really push forward. Um, what's what was something that was different that you had to adjust to before AI data was available? Was there a different type of marketing that you did before all this happened?
Yes, so I've been very privileged to have a lot of different experiences in marketing. So the company that I built and sold prior to Far Beyond Marketing was a direct mail publication guidebook that we had 5 million publications across the United States. So that marketing was very different. It was lead generation on behalf of contractors, but it was service led and quality based on behalf of homeowners. So they received our magazine for free. Contractors paid us on a per inbound call basis.
Mm,
So our guidebook was all based upon direct mail metrics, circulation,
yeah.
distribution, things like that. Prior to that, when I was in the plumbing world, I had to do an old-fashioned pen and paper and go, okay, I ran this ad in this phone book and I got this many calls in this zip
Wow.
code. Let me cross-reference and see if I got a
For those
positive.
people that don't know what a phone book is, look it up because I think her saying that sentence brought me back
So sorry.
30 years. Yeah. But that's amazing. And I was curious about that because I had read a lot of your background and I was like, I bet you've probably seen it from that. Okay, we'll send stuff out and we'll hope it works. And now you have data to back it up.
Right. And that's where technology and AI
Yeah.
comes in,
Yeah.
right? Is that we have call tracking numbers, we have dynamic call tracking numbers, we have online dashboards for corporate CPOs that
Wow.
want to see in real time what campaign in what zip code led to this many dollars and how much money was left on the table because you left an estimate but you didn't close it. You
Wow.
have to have that data to make operational decisions. And that's the beautiful thing about marketing. I have an opera background, so we were always coached upon the chiaroscuro, the light and the dark. That's what's so great about marketing is that we have creative and we have analytic, and you got to have both.
That's amazing. And you start wrapping up. Do you think that business owners, what are they missing that will connect them to a marketer? What do you think that is that next step what are they looking for to go, okay, it's time. It's time for me to really find someone, if not you, someone else in that can really get me to the next level?
Well, one of my AI mentors out of Sydney, Australia, the wonderful Atena Pegler, says unless your customer is in pain, they are not going to make a buying decision. So, how much pain are you in as an operator to make you want to invest and fix a problem?
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with the size of your company and you're not in pain, then you're not going to see the value of putting valuable dollars into expanding your brand awareness, getting more traffic, and all those things. You're not in pain. The other thing that you have to look about from a marketing perspective is what are your goals on the positive side? Do you have a goal of selling your business in 5 years? Do you have a goal of retiring but getting a paycheck for the rest of your life? If so, then you need marketing systems to run in the background of your business that will constantly create the lead generation to keep your business going. Or if it's not a pain point and it's not an operational goal or a growth goal, then it's a trust factor because a lot of people don't know who to trust with marketing and they're concerned about doing the wrong thing
Yeah.
and they're concerned about it not working. And that's where the transparency of the relationship comes in because people have been burned. So you have to let your results speak for themselves and give them everything they need to track the work that you're doing for them. You can't hide behind the creativity. You have to be able to say, I'm going to take $500 from you. I'm going to put it in this vehicle, and here's what I'm going to give you in return so that you can see whether or not I've done my job.
Yeah. And I love that you've brought up transparency so much because I've spoken to business owners that have had marketers and they're just like, I don't hear from this person and nothing's happened and I don't know if I should keep going with them. But I think even having consistent meetings about what's going on is
Mhm.
important, right? It lets them know, hey, I'm still here. We're trying. There's no guarantees, but we're trying. We're pushing hard. And I think that's where people have this vision of marketers that are just like whatever, like
Yeah,
they're just taking my money. I'm like, no. I've met really effective marketers that are fantastic and they care and it's almost like I can feel that you take that personal if it doesn't work out, right? Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I mean, we've given back money. We offer guarantees. It's so funny that you say that the marketers don't get back to them when we've had clients ghost us. We're like, we need our monthly meeting.
Yeah, yeah,
Can we be a part of your daily stand up?
yeah,
Like, we need to know what's going on.
yeah,
But I think also people inherently are lazy, myself
yeah,
included. When something's working really well,
yeah,
don't burden me with it. I'm
yeah,
happy,
yeah.
right?
Like it's working.
It's working. Great.
Don't
Thanks.
fix it.
Bye. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's every marketer's dream. Send me a check and leave me alone. But that's not what we do.
yeah,
That's not what we should do, I should
yeah,
say. Our job is to make sure that we are getting the results that the client wants. And that is absolutely predicated on consistent communication. I mean, for example, one of the levels of commitment that we have with that is our company phone number is text enabled. We give that phone number
wow,
to every client. Every single member of our team has our app on our personal cell phones. When a client text messages our company phone number, every member, every department head gets that text.
wow,
And so if you send a text message to the Far Beyond Marketing phone number and it has to do with creativity, the creative director is going to get it. Or if you have a question about billing, the billing processor is going to get it. Every single member of our team sees those text messages. And then every week at our internal team stand up meeting, we're going to go, okay, did we handle this? Did we handle that? Did we handle that? And it's because we believe in no holds barred real time communication with our clients.
yeah. I mean, that's amazing on so many levels because not only are you uh, connecting with the client, but I think it's finding a process that they can feel comfortable with and know. I mean, I think I think 2026 not to be able to connect with whoever it is you're hiring
Mhm.
is such a detriment to that process, right? You have to.
Mhm.
I mean, we're connected in so many ways, but what do you have going on in the upcoming next couple months? Is there anything that you're excited about? You're rolling out.
We are so excited. We are launching our online school community. So,
Wow.
anyone that partners with us in any level, whether they're just buying blogs from us, or they buy a copy of my book, or they get a $25 website teardown audit, they're going to be invited to join our free school community. The school community is going to have snippets from our videos, our education. We're going to have guest speakers. We also are rolling out our monthly Limitless Leads program, where the high intent buyers that you and I talked about at the beginning of our talk today, we're offering people $9.97 for 60 leads, and we will follow up on the leads on their behalf. So we're really moving towards this empowerment, the subscription based, and this comprehensive service based model in our agency.
I don't know how anyone says no to all that. So, um, Yeah, where can they find you? Where's your website? Tell them your website.
You know, the cool thing about marketers is that we don't hide. We just love to be out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So so you can find us online at www.farbeyondmarketing.com, and you can follow us on all the social channels.
All right. Well, great. Thank you so much, Amber, for being a guest on this. I learned so much, and I hope that if you guys check out her website, you're going to reach out to her so that you can learn more and also all the free offerings that they're giving up. So thank you, Amber.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
This person was on business.